One clap to the massive guys. We are finally back again for the very second reaction of this Mystelics reaction, guys. Don't forget to check out the very first one in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. And of course, big up the Mystelics YouTube family for definitely tuning into this reaction video. And of course, the newcomers are there. Big up all yourself as well. Newcomers, I appreciate you guys. Definitely subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you can get all the videos as they tend to come through. Subscribe, click the bell, and then click all, and you'll be pretty much notified about my videos right there. And then different things that I tend to talk about pertaining to that of the Caribbean people. Dominica, Dominica, of course, is included in the Caribbean for those of you who know. Not Dominican Republic, you know, but of course, maybe a little thing here about Dominican Republic. I've done videos on Dominican Republic before, but hey, that is not the point. Right there, brothers and sisters. Of course, to the Mystelics family out and large all over the place. And of course, if the newcomers want to, give this video a thumbs up if you understand it. If you want to see more, like I said before, subscribe as well. Thumbs up the video, guys. I would appreciate that. That'll help the algorithm to push these videos further and further right there. Now, this video was actually taken some time back. I can't remember when. It's written somewhere there. But there was something important that the Prime Minister stated. And if he stated something important, most likely he's hoping that the people are foolish listening to him and accept the foolishness that he's saying. So I want to point out to you guys this very thing right there. Take a listen.
And I want to say to you, Rose, enough that the only challenge we had.
Okay guys, I'm finally back again, man. I tell you, big up the Mystelics family who came through and whatnot. Big up all yourself, Tampa, Florida, massive big up all yourself one time. But of course, guys, let's get back into these vibrations right there.
That the only challenge we had with the Goodwill Secondary School is that the land was too small. The space is too small because we wanted to build even a bigger school. As a matter of fact, when the Chinese engineering firm designed the school, it ended up half of the playing field.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic
SKERRIT,
things.
you have good head, SKERRIT. You have a good head? Huh? You have good head?
Even a bigger school. As a matter of fact, when the Chinese engineering firm designed the school, it ended up half of the playing field.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
SKERRIT telling that to his people, wee boy. How dumb do you have to be to actually believe what SKERRIT just said there? He said bigger.
In fact, when the Chinese engineering firm designed the school, it ended up half of the playing field.
So they couldn't redesign the school to fit it in? Huh? You mean if it's big so it cannot fit in? You can't do that? No? So just do build this school because it's too big for it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I mentioned yesterday about the previous lady, what is it, Dennis Charles, the weave lady, talking about the youth decided to burn under DLP because they decided not to burn under anybody else, any other government. And that is the people you have running the country. Anyways, we have an individual right there. Harley Joseph stated this very thing right there. November 25th, we mentioned this. We in December 2nd. So I actually had to put this video out for quite some time now. But of course, now I get the chance to put it. He stated, as a trained professional in the field of engineering, architectural and landscape architectural designs, something isn't sitting right with this statement right there, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. whoever you are. With every project, the engineers and designers require caps lock a survey of existing conditions. You don't just design something and say, oh, let me fit it inside. Oh, it's too big. No, that don't make any sense. If an engineer or anybody that is doing designs want to do these things, that is foolish. You need to fire that person and get somebody else to do it properly. You must do the groundwork. You see the groundwork, you take your measurements and whatnot, and then you create design. Or you creating design first and then the measurement after. You're Ted Calbas. Anyways, with every project, the engineers and designers require a survey of existing conditions. The survey provides the square footage, the size of the land, the boundaries are property lines, the boundaries and property lines of the land to be used, the topography, the slope of the land, what currently stands on the land, the things existing on the land, what if you have to remove boulders and what have you, be it existing buildings, foliage, and above ground rocks. I just stated this very thing right there. That survey also gives you an idea of the surrounding properties. I remember doing some different real estate things for individuals, and you have to find out the type of properties around that building. It's not just the building. The person needs to understand the geographical location that they're located in. If they are fallen rocks, if they are swampy regions, all those kind of things there. You need to do these things when you're doing real estate right there. The survey also gives an idea of the surrounding properties, of the surrounding properties. I say all this to say that no legitimate firm will proceed to design without having that information. That is 100% accurate. So they are bringing in Chinese people who apparently are new to the system, just like MMCE. MMCE only client, we want to pretend as if MMCE was doing these jobs long time before and they are professionals and they come into Dominica to do great things. No. The only client that they have is Dominica. Dominica they have Maguesa. And they come and they pretending, hey, let's do things in the place. Let's build beautiful things. Remember when whoever built the West Coast Road? The smart people build the West Coast Road. And all of a sudden a tropical storm pass and take out all the bridges that they did renovation on. All. Okay, anyways. I say all this to say that no legitimate firm will proceed to design without having that information. So it's either the Prime Minister is straight up lying. We know he like to lie. We know he like to lie. It sounds nice. Oh, we building nice big building for you. Even though we might not have done that at all. But it sounds nice. So let me tell the people that even the playing field or whatever they were trying to build was so big that it couldn't fit into the spectrum. That, of course, we know that the Prime Minister is lying. No doubt about it. Straight up lying. Or he needs to look into securing the services of another engineering designing firm as soon as possible.
God have mercy upon us.
That is who we have leading Dominica. Somebody probably said the right thing, you know. They said he probably telling the people because he expect the people to just swallow whatever he's saying. It sounds nice, so he just telling the people nonsense. And they come up clapping. They clapping here. Yeah. Wow, you brilliant. Ted Calbas. Never see this kind of machine in my life. Never. And that is all leaders we. But then again, I can't blame the leaders too much. I blame the people for voting for these people, for allowing themselves to become servants of the very people that's supposed to serve us. The servant has become the master and the masters have become the servants. Interesting. There's this very thing right there. I have certain rules I live by. This individual, George Carlin, is stating, my first rule, not second rule, you know. My first rule, I do not believe anything the government tells me.
Bigger school. As a matter of fact, when the Chinese engineering firm designed the school, it ended up half of the playing field.
But it's scared, boy, you must be, boy, you must, boy, I tell you, boy, help us, Father. Anyways, guys, somebody actually pointed out something to me on the whole Jellyman situation. And they said it to me, Mystelics is not just the Jellyman, you know, SKERRIT was talking about. He was referencing the Jellyman. But the Prime Minister was literally insulting every single Jellyman that in Dominica. Trying to make ends meet to support their family. That is what they get to do. In these hard times, Jellyman. The Prime Minister trying to lambaste Jellyman. What job Jellyman that now? As if Jellyman can do things better than him. He didn't have his shoes to put on his foot. People had to give him shirt to put on his back, a jacket to put on, an old car for him to drive. But he making noise, the Jellyman of the economy in the economy that he created. Anyways,
we here representing the Jellyman. All the Jellyman them from Dominica, we representing them.
That's right.
I think Dr. Dale Dangleben that day.
Look at the man selling coconut over there.
Jellyman, big up yourself.
Man selling $5 US for a jelly. Right?
I was thinking, is Dominica Republic all you eat there looking familiar? But $5 US for jelly? That's a 3 cents for jelly in Dominica Republic. 3 cents, free cents US. Boy, what you know? $5 US we want messy. Boy, them jelly, boy, the coming, boy. Ay.
And SKERRIT want to talk his nonsense about jelly, man. Man had nothing. I know he looking down on the jelly, man. Boy, big respect to all jelly, man. From Scottshead to Portsmouth, everywhere, Granby, anywhere. Capuchin.
Two bitter is everywhere, no? Two bitter.
Big respect to all man who work hard to do what's right.
Instead of going and sell cocaine and drugs and those kind of things there, to be problematic in society, they're trying their best to maintain something. They're selling jelly, and the Prime Minister trying to diss man as if he was so better. Boy.
Justification. Down with SKERRIT. Down with SKERRIT.
Big up the jelly man out there. There's another video. I think I posted this one before, but it has to be said based off this very thing right there. It was sent to me again, so I'm gonna play it for you guys right there. And the young people need to listen to this very thing.
It have a lot of young people that suffer in silently, my brother. I myself have a business, and I telling you straight up, it rough in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Yeah, I telling you, it rough in the Commonwealth of Dominica. My brother, light bill go up, water go up, bag I go up. And what you have to do, you making the same, maybe the same money every time, and the same thing, you have to move the same ends.
Because your salary do going up, but the government salary going up coming. It went up already.
Because sometimes if you don't have a man, woman must make bomb in Dominica. But somebody want to tell me no, but I don't call him no woman stand up when you say I see woman go and do their business. Stop it.
I myself not in that one, no. Because if they keep voting for the same people and they expect a different result and nothing happening, and they have to end up going and make love on a budget. I was going to say the B word, but you know, YouTube is a funny thing already. They go to make love on a budget by putting this very same thing. I blame them. No man, I blame them because some of them just been campaign going up and down zigzag. I see them, you know, making zigzag, and they're going to make love on a budget.
But that way is a plenty of women getting up labor.
That's what I'm saying. They balling labor, and things not happening for them, and they're going to make love on a budget. Continue. I have to feel sorry for you.
Workers, whatever the hell in there. And tomorrow morning, they have to go and ask a man for a Kool-Aid.
Cool out. They need the cool out from the man.
And if bread to give their children, you think it easy in that?
And your children again. You forget your little ones have a future. And you still putting back the same thing there, balling labor. Trying to get a cool out.
Commonwealth of Dominica. You think it easy? When you have to be telling me a Kool-Aid is $1.25.
What? Not 10 cents for Kool-Aid, a bag of Kool-Aid, not bag. Them packets. Not 10 cents for that, or 25. I think it's 25 cents. I say 10 cents like I was back in the olden days. I think it's 25 cents for one. It don't allow you to get 4. Anyways.
Hey, bread is $1.25. If you make a little $10, where you going and survive in the weekday? Where you going to survive?
Man have to pinch like a rat. Man have to be not a rat, no mice. Man have to take a little bite of the bread. Okay, let me put that in the fridge. If I have fridge, let me put that in the cooler. Next day, let me put that piece in the cooler. You know, let me put that piece in the cooler so I can eat something on Friday. Gas, but you may say quick gas.
Right now, people turn so greedy, they don't even giving you figure dashing from there, making they rather throw it in the garbage bin.
I would understand that sentiment. I know it's very bad when it comes down to this thing. Doesn't matter where you labor, right, freedom and whatnot. But if you're literally voting for the very thing that is oppressing the country, where you are not able to then buy your own stuff, you then have to go to your neighbor and beg your neighbor who live in the same economy as you, and your neighbor seeing that and say, hey lads, vote for something else so we can have better, and you decide, no, you go on campaign to get cool out. When you go and get your cool out and cool out money finish, you come into neighbor to ask neighbor for money, neighbor to ask the same neighbor in the same economy. You don't know what the neighbor doing, basically making love on a budget, maybe for them to have whatever they have, and you come in with your hands swinging. Hey neighbor, my neighbor, look me. Give me a sugar now, please. I do have sugar. In the same economy that you have created, that you have voted for, the same oppressive people that keeping your neighbor down, and they have to do what they have to do to make it. You're coming for your neighbor to give you money now. You're coming for your neighbor to give you things. This is why I understand some neighbors decide, I don't give that person nothing, you will starve. Let me throw that in the garbage instead. But in the heart of your understanding from a moral perspective, I mean, help your neighbor out. But there comes a time when you have to decide, no man, too much is too much. Even Jesus himself, Yeshua, know that man cannot just always be constantly doing things and just be like this. Yeshua, there's a time coming when man will have to
Let's show you how selfish we come with one another. People throw in food, I tell you them this day. They decide they don't even give in their neighbor, and you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. They don't even give in your...
Do the neighbor love them? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Does that same principle apply for your neighbor who's voting for the same thing that is trying to keep you down, for you to try to guay, to keep the little stuff that they coming to beg you for in your house? Love your neighbor as yourself. That principle is supposed to apply to your neighbor too, not just to you. Just like when you constantly giving people money, just like the same thing the lady say. Guys, check out the previous reaction I did for today. The same thing she's saying about people coming and it's like they created the environment where if you have to come as a candidate to help them, they're asking you where you're cool out, because they have created that kind of environment.
Your neighbor food, no? That's how rough it come in the common of it. People worry, people. Everybody for themselves in that place. Everybody for themselves.
And I don't think it should be, if love your neighbor as you love yourself was applicable to everybody. We realize, but wait a while, it's not myself I have to cater. I also have to cater to my neighbor's little ones as well as my little ones who coming up in the future and have to go through that same kind of grind. This is why tell me where the issue of Dominica, we had a ammunition problem, huh? When man bringing ammunition on port and hoping that somebody they know is on the port for them to clear that for them so they can come and do their things in society. Dog eat dog world. Man coming and trying their best to do harm to people in Dominica because the economy is going down. Because they don't know what else to do. This is one of the reasons why I tell people I understand the ghetto environment. I understand it clearly. But if you're constantly doing things in an oppressive state to keep the oppressors oppressing you, then you are guilty. And you should take whatever blows you get.
On that place, me that telling you that. Everybody. And I telling you straight, it have a lot of people. It have a lot of people. You have to just be careful.
So she contradicting herself there. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you have to be careful of people. I guess not necessarily contradicting is the timeline. If you constantly love your neighbor as you love yourself and over 70 times 7 times 70 times 7 pass and your neighbor still don't love you, I mean, come on.
You just have to just be careful because you don't know who is who and who's saying what and who don't saying what.
Sometimes your neighbor them's trying to sell you out to you. They come and get something in your house, you give them a rice, they watch it and they see something, they go and tell the neighbor. Next neighbor come and steal, somebody else come and steal in your house.
A lot of hypocrites, and that's some people they just pull up there and they just quiet. It's not that I don't love my PM or I don't love Eddie, what is his name, the fella for workers. It had nothing to do with no love or whatever, whatnot. When right is right, you put right where right is. True. Sit down and take 1 week or go 2 weeks Guadeloupe and sit down.
You don't even have to go Guadeloupe. Well, Guadeloupe is the closest. Go St. Lucia. Go them places and you'll see.
And come back Dominica and spend that same 2 weeks and tell me which country you rather stay, or go America and come and tell me Dominica not rough. People want to say about everywhere rough.
Go St. Kitts now and say St. Kitts rough. Go St. Lucia, go Grenada and come Dominica and tell me which place rough. Tell me.
That's all everywhere don't know rough. Dominica rough. What? Everywhere rough. Everywhere don't know rough. Dominica rougher. Me that telling to you, Dominica rougher. I just travel, I just go St. Martin, I just go everywhere. I know what I say. Dominica rougher. Is my passport that has a...
But look what that happened is to delete that. I remember when a friend of mine came to Dominica. She came for the festival. She left the Monday. Checking who that's there. I check about you grew up in Dominica. She said yes, but I live and I go overseas and I understand. I understand what happening overseas, and in Dominica, I cannot survive in Dominica. But you were surviving in Dominica before. You spent donkey years, over 25 years in Dominica. Or even you can't survive in Dominica. They leave and they go and they understood what was out there. And realized coming back and stay Dominica. I can't stay Dominica long. I come for the festival and I going back. Where I come out. Telling me you cannot survive. They can't survive in Dominica after 25 years. 25 plus years in Dominica. When they realize what outside there. That is the thing, you know. People lack perspective when they constantly stay in one place.
Camp on it. Dominica rough like rough cake. Rough cake even too fine for Dominica.
Rough even too fine for Dominica, the ladies say there. It's interesting the kind of things that is being studied right there, guys. But if you understand how government works, good government is one of the most important factors in economic growth. Remember, economic growth. No economic growth going in Dominica, you know. Is there economic growth going on in Dominica? If there's no economic growth, then that is completely contrary to what this is saying. That means there's bad governance in Dominica, causing the economic growth to be stagnant or non-existent at all. Good government is one of the most important factors in economic growth and social well-being, brothers and sisters. Government is a trust. We must be able to trust our government officials. Government is a trust. And the officers of the government, the parliamentary representatives, are the trustees. Trust and trustees, brothers and sisters. And both the trust and the trustees are created for the benefit of the people, not for them. Who is benefiting more? Who getting all kind of truck and thing? Who getting all kind of building, all kind of houses? Ian finish his house and all this kind of something there, nothing wrong with that. But who is benefiting? Are the people benefiting, or is the government the one benefiting? Government is a trust, and the officers of the government are trustees. So the whole government, including the prime minister, they are trustees. The government is a trust, and these are the trustees that's supposed to be doing things for the people. And both the trust and the trustees are created by the people, voted by the people, for the people, for the benefit of the people. And the people are constantly begging and talking about cool out. SKERRIT, push her in your pocket and pull that pull out out. Put that cool out. I say pull that pull out. Pull the cool out. What does that tell you? It tells you that there's no good governance right there. Interesting stuff. Somebody stated this very thing right there. The Dominican labor rights must look who controls them, and they can't criticize him because their livelihood depends. I told you guys, they have attacked the basic needs of these people. The basic needs: food, shelter, and clothing. Food, hey, give me a little something now for me to buy a little something. Shelter, you can't pay your light bill, Mark. So I have to go and beg them. They have to give you a house, all kind of things. Food, shelter, and clothing. Sometimes even the shirts that they have. Look, go just pass around Dominica and see it's not labor right shirts you see on people. Who they most likely paying these individuals maybe $100, $50 for them to wear the shirts for the election up until the election time. I mean, you don't see. You have to understand. Let me read this again, guys. The Dominican labor rights must look who controls them, and they can't criticize him because their livelihood depends on begging that very person right there. ... An eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. And then it comes to this thing right there. This individual, I think, was a white supremacy or whatever. But what he stated right there is very true. To learn who rules over you, simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. I cannot criticize them. I cannot talk about. I cannot allow you in my house because they would not give me. I cannot do this for you. I cannot talk against the government because they will not give me. To learn who rules over you, brothers and sisters, including the men out there who think they are men and have to constantly go, hey wife, go and do things with the prime minister and just get, see if you can get a little, or go and do it with that minister, or I'll send my daughter to see if she can get something. Men who are supposed to be men, you know who rules over you. Simply find out who you are giving your protection to, giving your allowance to, giving your freedom to. Simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. And with that said, steady right there, guys. If you understand what I'm saying, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get more videos as they tend to come through right there and then. It's a sad state in Dominica. They call elections without electoral reform, even though after promising the people that they would give them electoral reform, after a set of meetings before the 2019 elections, they call election in 2019 and electoral reform has not happened again, and they're calling elections again, and the president who can stop it. Of course, you know the president is not Dominica's president, but what can you do? Anyways, guys, before I stay right there, let me know your thoughts in this regard. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Give this video a thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Don't forget to check out the first reaction, the previous reaction that I did in the first comment in the comment box below right there, guys. Boom, bang.